a new sanctions pressure from Western countries. They expected that they will quickly destabilize the financial and economic situation in our country, provoked panic on the market, and caused our financial system to collapse and to create deficits and shortages in our shops. But this policy against Russia has collapsed. This strategy of the economic blitzkrieg has failed. Moreover, the sanctions didn't go unnoticed for the initiators themselves. There's a growth of inflation, a growth of unemployment, the negative dynamics in the United States, a drop in the quality of life of Europeans, and the devaluation of the value of their savings. But Russia has withstood this unprecedented pressure. The situation is stabilizing. The exchange rate of the ruble is stabilizing, and in the first quarter of the year, the positive saldo has exceeded $58 billion. This is a historical maximum. Cash payments in foreign currencies are returning into the Russian financial system, and citizens' incomes are increasing and savings. This always happens that the retail demand is stabilizing. We have acted correctly when we decided not to go for the manual regulation of the market and have given freedom to private business to look for the best effective solutions. It is those decisions that allowed to ensure rhythmic supplies of goods to the retail network and provide the necessary products in the shops. Let's talk about inflation. The inflation is stabilizing now, but at the same time, and we know this very well, over the past 6 weeks alone, retail prices in Russia have noticeably grown. And in the annual figures as of 8th of April, the inflation rate is 17.5%. My colleagues in the central bank and the government, we know this very well. This is a very high indicator. People feel this in their wallets. They feel the increase in prices. We should support our citizens. We should help them cope with this inflation wave. In this connection, let me remind you of the decision that we have already adopted to index all the social payments, the pensions, and specialists working in the public sphere. And the government should prepare a draft decision in this connection. Of course, we should ensure the growth in people's incomes and create new jobs, and to boost the development of the industry and other sectors. The current situation is stable as a whole. We can judge about this by the indicator as the production of electricity. This is a good indicator. It shows that there is a positive dynamic in the economy. The number of officially recorded unemployed is quite low. Of course, we should monitor the situation in the economy, on the jobs market. We should keep our finger on the pulse and take timely decisions to ensure the stable and confident work of business and entrepreneurs. And the government has done quite well, and the social and the central bank as well have done well so far. The central bank and the government should report how you see the further development of the economy, what measures you should take to avoid the deterioration of the situation for Russian companies and citizens. Before we begin to discuss today's agenda, these are the subjects, the priorities I want to focus my attention on today. First, foreign trade. The restrictions which unfriendly countries have imposed on Russia have impacted the possibilities of Russian business. Of course, they have complicated the logistics of foreign and domestic supplies. They have created barriers for payments. You should support as much as possible the business in overcoming these problems. You should help move foreign payments in rubles and the currencies of friendly countries. In these new conditions, we should move at a much higher tempo. And please report to me how this work is organized and what results you plan to achieve. The second, we should support internal demand. We should inside the country. Here we should act through the budget sphere and also provide additional resources to the business. This is, of course, the remit of the central bank. It has already begun to reduce the interest rates, and this will, of course, make loans cheaper for the economy. As for the budget, I know that the central bank and the government are now engaged in discussions. Nevertheless, in the conditions of the objective drop in loan provision, the budget should actively support the economy and pump financial resources into the economy and support liquidity. There are resources and possibilities for that. Of course, you should act carefully, but in the first quarter of this year, there has been a record level of the profits of the budgets, and we need additional solutions here, and it should be done at the time when the economy needs it the most. Of course, you should act carefully, but the key condition is the provision of the long-term stability of the financial system, both at the federal and the regional level. We have about 1.1 trillion rubles now, and the cumulative profits in the regions is about 1 trillion rubles.